I finally got my hands on something pretty historic. This is the Casio Edifice EFK 100D, Casio's first ever automatic watch. Now we all know Casio for making super reliable rugged quartz watches. But this one, it's different. It's mechanical, feels a bit delicate yet still powerful. Casio was already a god tier watch in our community, but with this move, I think they have stepped even further. So let's dive in and see if it's worth the 26,000 rupees Casio is asking for. The first thing that grabbed my attention was the dial. Each watch comes with a carbon forged dial, which makes every piece unique. And it looks stunning in different lightings. The one I have here is the blue dial, and let me tell you, it looks expensive. It feels like I'm wearing something different, something that stands out. And speaking of standing out, let's quickly go through the specs. The case is 39 mm in diameter. If you have watched my other videos, you know I think that's the perfect size for most wrists, men or women. Thickness is 12.5 mm, which is slim enough to slide under a cuff. Lug to lug is 43.5 mm, which I personally feel has a little bit of oddness to the fit. Inside, it's powered by Seiko's most reliable workhorse, the NH35. When I first read this, I thought, really, Casio, couldn't you pick something better? But I get it, like I think they wanted to play safe. Then you are getting 100 meters of water resistance, so it's reliable as a daily piece. And on top, a sapphire crystal, which makes it more durable than most of the Seiko 5s out there at this price. All these specs sound good on paper, but the real question is, how does it feel on the wrist? Now the 39 mm size is just right. It feels perfect on the wrist. Not too big, not too small. It doesn't feel like I'm forcing it to fit on my style. It's clearly a dress watch, but because it's Casio, there's a touch of sportiness baked in. The stainless steel case with its flat edges gives it a little extra attitude, and that's just Casio DNA showing through. The smooth bezel though, I don't know, to me it feels like it's missing something. Maybe I'm biased because I have been staring at fluted bezels from datas for too long. On the wrist, it sits snug and doesn't shift around. The only thing that bothers me are the lugs. For a 39 mm case, they feel slightly on the longer side, creating a tiny overhang. If the lugs curved in more, it would have fixed it. Maybe Casio did that to make room for the integrated bracelet. But honestly, when someone else looks at it, it feels completely fine. It's just something I notice up close. Now about that bracelet. Casio went with an integrated flat link style. I will be honest, I am not the biggest fan of integrated bracelets. They often make the lugs look very awkward, which defeats the whole point of being an integrated bracelet. This one has brush finish, starting at 20 mm and tapering down at 18 mm at the clasp. It's comfortable, doesn't pull hair, and sits well. But because of the longer lugs, I actually get a visible gap. I can almost fit my pinky finger between my wrist and the bracelet. And before you say maybe your wrist is too small, my wrist is 6.69 inches. At 39 mm, it should fit perfectly. So yeah, I think it's more about the design than my wrist size. The clasp though is surprisingly good at this price. Solid, not rattly. It doesn't have a safety lock, but overall the bracelet feels solid and matches the watch really well. Casio didn't just stop at let's make an automatic. They made sure it looks special too. That forged carbon dial really steals the show. It's kind of a thing that can make you forget about nitpicking the movement. In daylight especially, the pattern just pops up. And it feels more expensive than the price tag suggests. The markers and the hands are simple with polished steel finish, which fits the dressy vibe. There's also a clean date window at 6 o'clock, a small touch, but it balances the dial nicely. And speaking of balance, the crown is push-pull, not screw down, but it's sized just right. Blends in when you are not using it, but easy to grip when you do. Honestly, better than what you will see on the Suyosa or even on some Seikos. Flip it over and you have got an exhibition case bag. Open case bags are fun, but I think they are kind of overdone now. And with a movement like NH35, there's not much to see. It also adds a bit of thickness. But I get why they included it. Enthusiasts like a peek inside. But personally, I don't need it here. Still, the case itself is flat and sleek, which makes it very versatile. So you can wear it to office or take it out for a night. It fits both the settings. Okay, let's talk about the NH35. This is Seiko's workhorse, one of the most widely used automatic movements. Durable, reliable, easy to service. It's like the Toyota engine of watchmaking. It's got hacking, hand winding, a dual direction rotor, and around 40 hours of power reserve. Accuracy wise, you're looking at about plus minus 10 to 15 seconds per day. Pretty standard for this movement. Now, is it worth the 26,000 rupees for the NS35? Absolutely yes, because you're not paying just for the movement. You're paying for Casio's first step into mechanical watches. This watch is literally part of history for the brand. If movement is your only deciding factor, then you will definitely find some other watches at this price. But what you're buying into is the milestone. Casio's big leap into automatic watches. Here's where it really grew on me. The rotor. You can actually feel it spin quietly as you move your wrist. It gives the watch a little alive feeling. The loom? Decent. It won't light up the room, but it's bright enough at 3 am. The bracelet was a bit stiff out of the box, but after a day or two, it settled in and started to feel much better. And that 100 meter of water resistance, that classic Casio. You don't have to baby this thing. Rain, splashes, even a quick swim, no problem. That's the Casio DNA showing through. Practical, reliable, everyday friendly. Overall, I think it's a fun watch. For beginners, I think it's a great entry into mechanicals. Good size, reliable movement, unique type. It could be the watch that gets you hooked on automatics for life. And for enthusiasts, it's not just another NS35 watch. It's Casio's first ever automatic, which makes it collectible in its own way. Because here's the thing, watches aren't just about specs, they're about the design, heritage, and the story they carry. And here you are getting Sapphire, a forged carbon dial, reliable specs, and Casio's first ever automatic, all in one. That's bigger than just a moment. So yeah, that's the Casio Edifice Automatic. I really respect that Casio finally stepped into the automatic game, and they did it in style. I'm curious to what they are cooking up next. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, would you spend 26,000 rupees on an automatic Casio, or is there something else on your mind? See you in the next one. Until then, stay timeless.